Part 35. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Yuze. Chapter 341. Jifei leaned on Qin Xian's arms, laughing so hard, "This is to occupy the moral high ground first." Qin Yan said, "But isn't it still not possible in the law?" Qin Rong said, "Ah. Aren't they still being taken advantage of?" Qin Jing said, "That's after Wai Wei turns 18. If they are still alive and need Wai Wei to support them." Qin Xiao continued, "You have to sue Wai Wei to get support. You will give whatever the court decides." Qin Chao was the worst, saying directly, "Change it into coins and let them count them one by one." As a result, Qin Yi said, "Just change it into food of equal value, I guarantee you won't starve to death." Qin Jiaxi chuckled. Qin Wenqiang said, "It's not over yet. After all, the property has not been recovered." Haha. In the past few years, the mistress and the illegitimate child have spent their common property. When the illegitimate child cannot prove his identity, the situation is completely in Qin Wenqiang's favor. After the judgment, the financial return will not only make the mistress bankrupt, but Yang Feng's parents will also be skinned. In the past, Qin Wenqiang and Yang Feng bought a lot of good things for the old couple to let them enjoy life, but now they have to go back to the pre-liberation era for their grandchildren. This is also retribution. After all, they indulged the mistress and illegitimate son to spend Yang Feng's money crazily in the past. Now they have to pay it back even if they tighten their belts. Sure enough, not long after, everything Qin Wenqiang had paid for these people was recovered. Originally, those people were still fearless because they held the company in their hands, but when the mistress's brother really took over, they found that the company had not started to make a profit at all, because Yang Feng had not completed a project and even delayed various payments. In response, the family was directly at a loss, looking for connections everywhere, but found that they had been excluded from the business circle in Y City. When they were really scared by the debt collectors, they finally realized that they could not open a company at all, so they thought about selling the company and not running it themselves. But they couldn't sell it at all. Finally, he shamelessly asked Qin Wenqiang for help, but at that time, Qin Wenqiang had already gone abroad with her daughter to expand her overseas business. These are all later stories. At present, the gossip and public opinion of the wealthy families in Y City are very serious. Qin Wenqiang rarely goes out with her daughter and just plays with relatives. It's just that it's been much quieter these 2 days. After all, there is still some time before the old man's birthday. After Qin Xian took over the group, it was his first time to come to Y City, so he naturally had to inspect. So everyone who was involved in the Qin family's industry had to take time out to accompany Qin Xian to the company. The remaining people, in addition to Jifei, Qin Xiao and Qin Rong, were Qin Yi and Qin Jiaxi. As the eldest cousin, Qin Yi naturally took on the important task of tour guide. Qin Jiaxi was just a little playmate. But today Qin Jiaxi couldn't play with them because she had classes today and had to go to school. So there were only 4 people left. Seeing that they had discussed for a long time but still had no idea what to do, Qin Yi thought of the message he had just received and struggled for a while. "Actually, students from our college are having a performance in the concert hall today. Are you interested in going to see it?" As soon as Qin Yi finished speaking, the 3 looked over. Qin Chao and Qin Rong had not forgotten the gossip they had heard from Jifei before, and they immediately became interested. Qin Chao knew more about music, so he asked carefully. When he understood, he was surprised and said, "This kind of performance is very important to these students. Don't you need to accompany them throughout the whole process?" Qin Yi touched his chin uncomfortably and said, "Didn't I take a leave to accompany you? And there are other teachers accompanying me." Ha ha ha, so that's it. That beloved disciple sent him a message asking him to go to the performance, but Qin Yi didn't want to give the other party hope, but he was very worried about his disciple's performance, so he was entangled. Qin Chao and Qin Rong looked at Qin Yi with a smile, which made Qin Yi feel uncomfortable all over. Since it's a performance by my cousin's students, let's go and see it. Anyway, I can't think of anything else for the time being. Ji Fei suppressed the corners of her mouth that were upturned. Qin Chao and Qin Rong nodded in agreement. They didn't want to talk about a master-disciple relationship, they were just gossiping. So the four of them went out to watch the performance. This performance in the concert hall was all students from the music college. The audience in the front row were all people with status in the music industry. They were equivalent to coming to inspect the rising stars and see if there were any good seedlings to invest in. If they received highly praised comments from them, their future would definitely be limitless. Some people might accept apprentices on the spot. As a famous baritone, Qin Yi was originally qualified to sit in the first row, but he originally planned not to come, so there was no seat reserved for him. After arriving, Qin Yi arranged for them to enter the private room so that they didn't have to listen in the audience. He was going to go backstage to see the students and cheer them up before they went on stage. I also want to go backstage to see, is it convenient for my cousin, Ji Fei immediately said actively. Qin Chao and Qin Rong also reacted and had to follow the crowd. As a result, Qin Yi could only take them to the backstage under the expectant gaze of the three people. There were many large and small waiting rooms in the backstage, and many people came in and out of them. When they saw Qin Yi, they all politely called him teacher. Strictly speaking, those who participated in the performance were considered Qin Yi's students. After all, they had to listen to his lectures in the academy, but he only had one favorite disciple, who was the disciple that Qin Yi really thought had talent, taught privately, and wanted to train well. However, Qin Yi still treated everyone equally at this time, entered each waiting room, encouraged, and exhorted. Ji Fei and the other three were watching casually at the door. It was only now that I saw what my eldest cousin is like as a teacher, Qin Rong said with a smile. It's so amazing. He can give guidance to every student. And it hits the nail on the head. Look at the adoring and excited eyes of those students. It seems that my cousin is very popular. Qin Kaidao. Look, I'm afraid it's not just the disciple who admires Qin Yi also. My cousin is handsome, rich, has strong professional skills, and is so gentle it's no wonder that the students are tempted. Qin Chao and Qin Rong also felt that it was very reasonable, but their cousin seemed to have no love, and all his love was given to music, and he was afraid that he would die alone. Qin Yi guided him all the way to the last waiting room. Before he could knock on the door, he heard arguments coming from inside. The order of performances is determined by drawing lots. A female voice said tremblingly but firmly, "You can't. Jourishi, do you think you can get extra points by letting you perform last? You are really a clown. How can your voice talent compare to mine? I am Qin Yi's apprentice. All my performances must be perfect. You are just jealous of me and deliberately want to block my finale." Wan Sitong sneered coldly. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Yuze. Chapter 342. Qin Yi's apprentice. The one who dares to say that is the beloved disciple. Looking at Qin Yi, who paused at the door, Qin Chao and Qin Rong exchanged crazy looks. Ji Fei has already started complaining mode. What the hell? This guy who bullies others is the one who confessed his love to Qin Yi? It seems that my cousin's outlook on accepting disciples is not very good either. Fortunately, my cousin only has a master-disciple relationship with this person. He must have never seen this side of his apprentice before. His face turned dark. Wan Sitong's satire on Jourishi continued, "Most of the audience here are here for the reputation of Qin Yi and me. What everyone is looking forward to most is the performance of my genius. Do you think I have finished my performance? Will anyone stay patiently to watch your performance? I asked you to change the order to give you an advantage. I advise you to be more sensible. If I am not in a good mood today because of you, let Qinyi know. I'm disappointed in the end. I want you to look good. This tone is really bad. Is it natural, or is it intentional to bully and take off people's anger? Qin Chao and Qin Rong felt uncomfortable listening to this, and complained in their hearts that Qin Yi had a bad look in his eyes. Wan Si Tong continued, "Open your mouth, you are mute, you are still not convinced? Haha, Zhou, don't think I don't know your thoughts, be careful, I expose them all to you, see what happens next." And within a moment, the girl's hoarse voice came from inside, I know. Humph, you know the current situation. Ah, give in? Is this something that has been taken advantage of, or is it because he is afraid of Qinyi behind his back? If this is really the case, how many students has this apprentice bullied in the name of Qinyi? Qin Chao and Qin Rong also found it quite boring. Qinyi couldn't listen anymore and pushed the door directly in, interrupting the conversation inside. Ah, Teacher Qin. Teacher Qin. Ji-Fei looked inside and saw two girls standing and one sitting inside. The standing girl was wearing glasses and was pretty and elegant. However, she was shaking all over and her eyes were red, as if she was very angry. The girl sitting there had a superior attitude and a very eye-catching appearance. However, her expression was a little startled at this time, and her face gradually turned red. Apparently she did not expect that she would be caught in such an arrogant and domineering manner. Qinyi frowned and looked at Wan Sitong and said, "The order of drawing lots is fair to the students. What are you doing? Do you usually bully your classmates like this?" Qinyi was heartbroken. He knew that Wan Sitong was usually a little arrogant. After all, she was indeed a genius, but he really didn't know that she behaved so badly behind her back. No. No, I'm not. Wan Sitong obviously didn't want to show her true side in front of Qinyi, and was anxious to make up for it. I just want to be the last one to appear. In fact, this position makes no difference to her. Well, anyway, her level. Wan Sitong, Qinyi interrupted coldly. Wan Sitong immediately looked at Qinyi aggrievedly. That look was really not the way a student looks at a teacher. I was just afraid that you wouldn't come and that you would be late, so I tried to postpone the performance. I just wanted to perform for you, Wan Sitong said and started to cry aggrievedly. Qinyi was stunned this time, and his expression suddenly became uncomfortable. Qin Chao and Qin Rong looked at each other suspiciously, and then both looked at Ji-Fei. "Second sister-in-law, what do you think?" Qin Rong asked. Ji-Fei raised her eyebrows and could only say, "It doesn't look like she's lying." "It's true that I'm not lying." Wan Sitong really postponed it for Qinyi. This girl is really obsessed with Qinyi. After watching Wan Sitong, Ji-Fei looked curiously at Zhou, the girl who had just been bullied and was now the backdrop. "You won't know if you don't look at it, but you will be shocked when you look at it. I guess, our cousin is really charming." When Qin Chao and Qin Rong saw that Ji-Fei had peeked at another girl, they immediately started gossiping. Could it be? No wonder she seemed to be threatened just now. It turns out that Zhou also likes Qinyi, but she is secretly in love with Qinyi. She feels that she is not worthy and has no chance of being with Qinyi, so she never has any delusions, but Wan Sitong still sees it. Just now she was threatening Zhou to tell Qinyi about her secret love. Zhou was afraid that Qinyi would avoid her after knowing about it, leaving her unqualified to ask for advice occasionally, so she gave in. Qin Chao and Qin Rong couldn't help but sigh. It was really not easy for Qinyi to be a teacher, and he was liked by the students accidentally. Although universities do not specifically prohibit teacher-student relationships, it is not such an exaggeration. Sure enough, their Qin family's genes are too good. Here Wan Sitong and Qinyi were talking nonsense, as if they were not bullying others at all just now. She also had her own reasons. Qinyi didn't want to get to the bottom of it at this time, so he said, Okay, you apologize to Jorashi, the performance will be as usual, and everyone will be well prepared for the show. Although Wan Si Tong was reluctant to do so, she still apologized to Jorashi. Jorashi actually didn't dare to look up at Qin Yi. When she heard the apology, she responded. Wan Sitong sneered in her heart, then turned to Qin Yi and said coquettishly, "Teacher, when my performance is over, can you come here to see me again?" Qin Yi immediately rang the alarm bell and said immediately, "I brought my relatives to watch the performance today. I'm afraid I don't have time to give you guidance after the performance. We'll talk about it when we get back to school." Wan Sitong seemed to have just noticed the people at the door, and suddenly felt a little dissatisfied, as if she should be Qin Yi's most important person. "Just a moment, teacher, please." After begging like this, it seemed that Qin Yi would not be allowed to leave unless he agreed. Qin Yi was sweating profusely, afraid that others would notice something, so he could only temporarily agree. He thought that after this important performance was over, he would make it clear to Wan Sitong. If the other party really couldn't stop thinking about it, then she could only change a tutor. But Wan Sitong was thinking that after the performance was over, she must confess again. She didn't believe that Qin Yi, who was so good to her, would not have her in his heart. After all, they were a good match. After a while, Wan Sitong was guided by the staff to prepare. Qin Yi was relieved, and then he gave Jorashi some instructions before the performance. Jorashi listened carefully, but her expression was uncontrollably sad. Qin Yi thought she was still sad about Wan Sitong's words, so he said, "In fact, your singing skills are not worse than hers, and you also have your own talents." What Qin Yi said was true. Jorashi worked hard and sang well, but her voice was just average. At first, he was actually hesitant between the two, but Wan Sitong's talent really moved him, so he chose Wan Sitong to concentrate on training. Jorashi just nodded obediently when she heard Qin Yi say this. Alas, the girl who had a crush on her was sad because she just saw the intimacy between the master and the apprentice. The straight cousin couldn't see that the girl also liked him. Qin Chao and Qin Rong could only watch with sympathy. After the explanation, Qin Yi took the others back to the private room to watch the performance. Qin Yi was preoccupied and didn't pay attention to the expressions of the three people traveling with him. When he reacted, he had heard their whispers. "It's definitely impossible. If my cousin likes her, he's blind," Qin Chao said. "Qin Yi. What are you talking about?" Qin Yi blushed. "You and Wan Sitong, it's so obvious, who can't see it?" Ji Fei said directly for the convenience of gossiping. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 343. After all, the situation just now was a bit too obvious, so Ji Fei didn't expose her golden finger and could gossip with Qin Chao and Qin Rong openly. Listening to Ji Fei's words, Qin Yi was really embarrassed for a while before he said, "The apprentice is just ignorant, don't gossip. You are an adult, how can you be ignorant? Cousin, have you confessed, but you rejected it?" Qin Chao directly said the gossip he heard from Ji Fei in a guessing way. Qin Yi was choked and could only sigh, "Maybe, I should only accept male apprentices in the future." Ji Fei wanted to complain, but didn't dare to say it. "Just now when I saw him instructing students, several boys looked at him wrongly. Cousin still underestimated his charm. If he really doesn't want to have a teacher-apprentice relationship and wants to be a good teacher, cousin had better destroy his image." Qin Chao and Qin Rong couldn't help laughing. "Cousin, if Wan Sitong doesn't give up, what will you do in the future? Don't you still have to be her teacher?" Qin Rong asked curiously. "If she is stubborn, Then I really can't be her teacher. Qinyi looked at the performance stage outside and said, maybe, today is an opportunity. As long as her performance is appreciated, other teachers will want to take her as a disciple, and I can retire with honor. But, judging from her temperament just now, if you don't even serve as her teacher and transfer her to someone else, will she make a fuss? Ji Fei said, better be careful. According to Ji Fei's many years of experience, people with a temperament like Wan Sitong are the most likely to go crazy, and Qinyi's mild personality is the most difficult to deal with crazy people. In fact, Qinyi would be careful without Ji Fei's reminder. After all, he is also a disciple he has carefully cultivated, and he hopes that everything will be fine for his disciple. Soon, the next performance began. Ji Fei and Qin Rong have no appreciation level in this area, and they rely purely on their feelings. Qin Yi and Qin Chao commented in a formal manner. Wan Sitong was ranked first, so it was her turn soon. Her voice was indeed very good, and non-professionals like Ji Fei and Qin Rong could tell that she was not at the same level as other students. With her powerful singing skills, her appearance directly turned an ordinary student performance into a professional level concert. The response from the people below was also the strongest, and even the reporters who came to report took more photos. At the end of the song, thunderous applause rang out. Wan Sitong accepted the attention confidently, but her eyes were searching for Qin Yi's figure everywhere, but because they were in the private room, Wan Sitong had to leave with regret. The performances of the others were mediocre, until the last one. Zhou Rishi seemed to dress up a little, at least she didn't wear glasses on the stage. When she opened her voice, Ji Fei and others were a little surprised. Although her powerful singing voice was not as eye-catching as Wan Sitong's, it could be felt that she was as good as other students. Her singing skills are very good, as evidenced by the frequent nods of many professionals below, but her voice is average, and she has a sense of being lost in the crowd, making it difficult for people to instantly identify her voice. She and Wan Sitong are like a competition between hard-working people and talented people. As long as the talented people work hard and are guided by famous teachers, even hard-working people can't catch up with them even if they try their best. It's a pity that the focus of this night is destined to be that uneducated and bad guy. After all the students' performances were over, Qin Yi's mobile phone also received an urging message from Wan Sitong. Qin Yi turned around and saw three people looking at him gossipingly. Before he could speak, the three people said they would accompany him, obviously wanting to watch the fun. Back to the corridor of the waiting room again, some students were frustrated, some were excited, and left one after another. When someone saw Qin Yi approach to ask about their performance, Qin Yi would carefully explain it. It happened that she met Zhou Rishi, who took back her glasses, carried her bag, came out and saw Qin Yi, greeted him respectfully, and looked a little sad. Qin Yi thought she didn't perform well, so he comforted her, "You performed very well today. Keep working hard and you can continue to improve." Ji Fei saw the little girl's eyes light up instantly, as if she could gain strength by getting the approval of the person she likes and admires. "Thank you, teacher," Zhou Rishi said, and looked at Qin Yi again, and finally couldn't help but said, "Teacher, your complexion is not very good, you should pay more attention to rest." Qin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect Zhou Rishi to see that he really didn't rest well recently. After all, there was the matter of the elder sister in front and his own troubles in the back. It would be strange if he could rest well. But he also regarded it as the ordinary concern between teachers and students, and his smile became more sincere. "Thank you, I will pay attention." Zhou Rishi seemed to be unable to bear Qin Yi's smile, and immediately bowed her head and left quickly. But when passing by Ji Fei and the other two, they still saw it, and the little girl blushed. This person's secret love is really likable. We didn't see it, or that the beloved disciple who was said to love him very much didn't see that Qin Yi was in a mediocre state recently, but she actually noticed it. Although Qin Chao and Qin Rong had not noticed Qin Yi's recent state, they were not surprised that Zhou Rishi noticed it. If you like someone, you will definitely care about him/her with all your heart and eyes. So, Wan Sitong didn't pay much attention to Qin Yi himself. Wan Sitong was still the only one waiting in the waiting room. After Qin Yi knocked on the door and entered, Wan Sitong ran towards Qin Yi like a happy little bird. If she hadn't seen several people following Qin Yi, Wan Sitong would probably have jumped into Qin Yi's arms. Wan Sitong said with a stiff expression, "Teacher, I have something to talk to you alone." After that, she looked at the three tactless people. But since Wan Sitong had said it, Qin Yi couldn't force anyone to take him with him, so he could only turn around and say to the three people, or, "You go back to the car and wait for me. We should finish the conversation soon." When Qin Yi said this, Wan Sitong was a little unhappy. But Ji Fei and the other two agreed easily. But when the door was closed, the three of them stopped at the same time. Silently trying to walls have ears. But I didn't expect the sound insulation level here to be too high. There was no choice but to sit on the bench in the corridor and wait. It just happened that I could use Ji Fei's voice to look at the door and imagine. That's right, Ji Fei started gossiping again. "I told you, it's definitely not about anything serious, ha ha ha," my cousin was confessed to again, and Wan Sitong really didn't give up. Qin Chao and Qin Rong pretended to play with their phones while frantically discussing the new gossip in the crowd. Big gossip, witness my cousin being confessed to by his apprentice. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 344. Why not? We are so well matched. I am young, beautiful, and capable. You must also have a crush on me. Otherwise, why would you have chosen me? How could you be so good to me? You teach me and help me solve problems in life. Take care of me wholeheartedly, you. That's because I want to cultivate a talented singer. I think you have talent. I don't want you to be buried, so I try my best. After all, you are my first apprentice. I didn't expect you to misunderstand me. There's really no personal relationship at all. No, you must be lying to me. There are no other women around you. Your time and energy are all on me. I am the only one who is closest to you, so you must like me. You just don't dare to admit it. Qin Yi originally wanted to end this mistake gently, but he didn't expect that it would be so difficult to communicate with Wan Sitong. Seeing her talking completely to herself, Qin Yi knew that if she didn't speak harshly, the other party would not listen. Just because I don't have another woman doesn't mean I have to like you, Wan Sitong, please wake up. You are just my apprentice, and I will have other apprentices in the future. You are not the first. I don't believe it. I understand. You are worried that people will gossip about our identities. Then I will drop out of school, so that we will no longer have a teacher-student relationship. Wan Sitong has been driven crazy by repeated rejections. She thought that today's performance was so successful. Qin Yi would be shaken when he saw her excellence. Obviously everyone said that Qin Yi was so kind to her and so different. Other teachers would not be like this at all. Qin Yi saw he looked at her with such gentle eyes, how could he not like her? But the next second, Qin Yi made her despair. Qin Yi suddenly said with a cold face, "If you drop out of school, then there will really be no relationship between us." Wan Sitong was dumbfounded. This was the first time Qin Yi treated her with such a cold attitude. The emotions that she had been holding on to completely collapsed and she cried. She suddenly reacted and said immediately, "I understand, you just want to use my talent to give yourself a sense of accomplishment. Okay, Qin Yi, how about our deal? As long as we are together, I will do it for you. Keep singing. I am willing to be a talented singer in your hands and let the world notice you as an excellent teacher. If you reject me, then I will destroy my voice and I will never sing again. Qin Yi was really surprised. Originally, he just thought that Wan Sitong's personality was a bit sharp. There is no harm in girls being sharp and not easy to be bullied. Now that they encountered problems and faced them, they realized that Wan Sitong's personality was so big. Problem and completely unable to communicate. When I saw her having such a big conflict with her family, I thought she was a poor child, but now it seems. I was blinded by her talent in the past, but I really need to keep my eyes peeled when accepting apprentices in the future. It has to be said that Wan Sitong's crazy performance made Qin Yi very sad and disappointed. Even though he felt reluctant to let go of the friendship of his first apprentice, Qin Yi had to break it off. So singing is so unimportant to you. It's your own life. Don't use it to threaten me, Qin Yi said coldly. You performed very well today. You should have a lot of olive branches. Find someone else in the future. Let me guide you. I don't need you to prove to the world that my teaching is excellent. Wan Sitong's face turned pale instantly. She took everything for granted and probably didn't expect that she would be given up by Qin Yi. She suddenly rushed over, hugged Qin Yi fiercely, and kissed him hard. Qin Yi was shocked. He didn't expect to be attacked by a girl, so he quickly pushed the person away. As a result, Wan Sitong, who was wearing high heels, fell directly back because there was a makeup mirror behind him, which was really dangerous. Qin Yi quickly reacted and raised his hand to protect her. His head and his whole body followed Wan Sitong's body. Wan Sitong, regardless of the situation, grabbed Qin Yi's collar, raised his head and kissed her forcefully. At this moment, the door was opened. "Cousin, we've waited too long, are you disturbing us?" Qin Chao's voice came. Behind them were Qin Rong and Jifei, who were curiously stretching their heads to look at the scene. Naturally, all this was because of Jifei's inner voice. The words Qin Yi was about to be raped scared Qin Chao and Qin Rong. Qin Chao stood up directly and said that he seemed to hear something unusual and went to see what was going on. Ever since, the trio made their debut, and Wan Sitong would probably hate them to death right now. Because someone was causing trouble, Wan Sitong missed the opportunity. Qin Yi suddenly pushed her away, shaking with anger. Finally, he turned around and left a message: no need to contact her in the future. No matter how Wan Sitong called him from behind, he left after saying that. Because Qin Yi's air pressure was too low, the three of them did not dare to joke after getting in the car. Until they returned to the old house, Qin Yi also returned to the room to rest alone. But others didn't care about his hard life experience. He didn't let everyone keep it secret anyway, so when other hard-working family members came back, they had freshly baked melon. When Qin Jiaxi came back, everyone stopped thinking about gossip. Because Qin Jiaxi came back half-dried and with an ugly face. When others asked what she was doing, Qin Jiaxi just said that she did it accidentally, and then hurried back to her room. The people who couldn't hear their voices continued to discuss Qin Yi's gossip, and the faces of those who heard their voices gradually became ugly. What the hell? Just because Jiaxi quarreled with her boyfriend and made her boyfriend angry, the so-called male guardian group started to cause trouble for Jiaxi. Someone took advantage of Jiaxi going to the toilet and pretended to collect water for cleaning. Then when Jiaxi passed by, he deliberately failed to hold the bucket securely and poured all the water on Jiaxi. He then apologized neatly, making it impossible for anyone to pursue the case. But Jiaxi knew that this was familiar bullying. Qin Lao's family, damn it! I can't even imagine that the Qin family's daughter was bullied. Qin Xian hugged Jifei and remembered that he went to inspect today. Many people heard the news and wanted to meet him, especially the Su family. The third uncle told him that the other party had the idea of marriage. After all, in Y City, these two families are the most compatible. And what the third uncle means is that the Su family has many sons in this generation, and the other party's sincerity is the descendants of the Su family. No matter who is with the daughter of the Qin family, they will choose which one to focus on training. Unexpectedly, he is the heir. Wait a minute, is this so-called boyfriend real or fake? Why don't you care about your girlfriend at all? Was the quarrel also about Uxin being an adopted daughter? Is he familiar with Uxin, and after Gxi was soaked in water, she couldn't contact him? What the hell? Hearing this, Qin Xian couldn't help but sneered. It seemed that the young master had no chance to be the heir. Not only that, Qin Han also came to the school today, and brought Uxin to blame Qin Gxi, threatening her to go home tonight and plead with his third uncle together with him. Qin Laoer and his family are about to roll their eyes. They really don't want to admit that Qin Han is of the Qin family's blood. Unfortunately, they look alike. It can only be said that in such a big family, there is always mouse shit. It seems that Gxi's only resistance is staying here tonight. Qin Laoer's family, that's all. Qin Gxi has made some progress, at least he knows how to resist. Qin Yi would definitely not come down to eat dinner because he was in a bad mood. Qin Gxi didn't come down either, because she was feeling unwell, probably from a cold. Everyone was worried, but the girls went to visit Qin Gxi together. But not long after they left the hall, the boys who stayed behind saw Qin Yi hurriedly going out with the car keys. Qin Chao also asked enthusiastically, but Qin Yi only said in a low voice that it was urgent and didn't say much. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Yuze. Chapter 345. What could Qin Yi say? He said that because he rejected his apprentice's love, the apprentice cut his wrists and committed suicide, threatening him to go to school to find her. Wan Sitong just called and showed him the crazy gesture of cutting his wrists. Qin Yi was frightened. He wanted to call 120 or call the police, but he was warned in advance. Wan Sitong asked him to go alone before the blood dries out, otherwise she would jump off the building. Qin Yi really had no choice. Although calling the police might keep him out of the situation to a certain extent, it would also make everything get out of control. Even if it didn't get out of control, it would completely destroy Wan Sitong's future. After all, because of tonight's performance, Wan Sitong's reputation as a talented girl has been destroyed. If a suicide scandal breaks out at this time, Wan Sitong will be really ruined. Qin Yi always felt that Wan Sitong might just be too willful, and there might always be a chance to explain things to him. Even if it didn't work, he could calm her down a little by going over there. But when Qin Yi rushed to the rehearsal room given by Wan Sitong and opened the door, she was still shocked. Wan Sitong took off her clothes and lay aside, the blood on her wrists already flowing to the ground. Qin Yi couldn't care about anything else, because he was not sure of Wan Sitong's current condition, so he could only rush forward. But when he wanted to help Wan Sitong up, Wan Sitong suddenly raised his hand and sprayed something in Qin Yi's face. Qin Yi was from a wealthy family and had seen some tricks before. At that moment, Qin Yi felt bad. But when he wanted to get up, he was knocked down by Wan Sitong. With such a straightforward embrace, the harder Qin Yi struggled, the faster the drug's effect would react. In the process, Qin Yi's clothes were also torn up by Wan Sitong. Wan Sitong. You are crazy, Qin Yi roared. Wan Sitong's eyes were red and swollen. She had obviously cried for a long time. Now her eyes were full of madness. You are crazy. I am your beloved disciple. How can you give me to others? Haha, after tonight, even if you don't follow me it's impossible to be together. Qin Yi said angrily, Wan Sitong, calm down and think about it. Do you think I will be responsible for you after we sleep? You are too naive. And you are committing a crime. I don't care, I only know, Qin Yi, you ruined me. You looked at me in pain and sadness, but you completely ignored my wishes. Aren't you my teacher? Why are you doing this to me? Are you forcing me to go? Die. Why are you so cruel? Qin Yi felt that he was completely unable to communicate with the other party. Would he ruin her by not being as good as her? Now it's Wan Sitong who wants to destroy him. But he could no longer speak normally. Qin Yi focused on music and always kept himself clean. He had never had such an experience, so the effects of the medicine were so powerful that he couldn't control himself at all. For a moment, he suddenly turned over and pressed Wan Sitong under him. Just when Wan Sitong thought she was going to succeed, Qin Yi saw Wan Sitong's face clearly. At that moment, nausea and vomiting overwhelmed her body's reaction, and her rationality temporarily returned. Suddenly a headbutt came down. Wan Sitong was knocked unconscious, but Qin Yi also gained clarity due to his headache. He immediately got up from Wan Sitong and stumbled out. His eyes were now filled with illusions, but he knew he had to lock himself up quickly and contact rescue. So I found a rehearsal room nearby. After rushing in, he immediately locked the door, took out his cell phone and was about to send a message, but his consciousness was interrupted. I seem to remember hearing a girl's voice, but I'm not sure if it was Wan Sitong, the lunatic, chasing after me. At this time, Jifei and the others at the Qin family's old house were still paying attention to what was happening in Qin Jiaxi. Although Jifei knew everything, she only learned it from Qin Jiaxi. She had never met her boyfriend Nuxian, so she was not sure about many things. But Jifei was still very skeptical. Half of the people present knew the truth, and half didn't. When asked, Qin Jiaxi just said that the classmate was careless, so what could he say? After all, you can't retaliate against someone because of their carelessness. There is no way to call the police. But Qin Jiaxi didn't say how many times had he accidentally experienced this kind of thing in more than a year. Now Qin Jiaxi seems to be in a state of confusion of self-awareness, so no matter what everyone asks, she can't say it because she herself is not sure. In addition, the little girl seems to have an inexplicable inability to ask for help from others. I don't know whether it is because she feels that the family scandal cannot be exposed, or because her previous attempts to ask for help have never been successful, so she has become accustomed to not asking for help. Jiaxi, you are right to suspect ever since Suzy confessed to you. It is a fact that you have been bullied by the school's Green Guard group. It is not that you are in love at all. The other girls who have a crush on Suzy are sad and ordinary. I've been looking for trouble for more than a year, and it's been bullying. Dear, have you been so abused by your family that you can't even tell the extent of the bullying? And you should think about two things. First, if you reveal your identity as the eldest lady of the Qin family, no one will dare to bully you, but your family won't let you. This is very strange in itself. Secondly, since Suzy was bullied, as a boyfriend, shouldn't he stand up and warn him? Is he a dead man, watching you being bullied? Jifei had 10,000 words to complain in her heart, but she couldn't speak. The little girl looks very pitiful. When she wakes up, she doesn't know how much she will suffer. After thinking about it, an idea suddenly flashed, and he smiled and said, if we find a chance, let's go to your school to visit it. Isn't it the #1 university in the local area? You will be the tour guide. Qin Yan and Qin Rong instantly understood Jifei's intention and quickly agreed. Others are also quite curious, after all, they have never been there. Qin Jiaxi didn't think much about it, just thought it was a general reception, so she nodded and agreed, and she would take everyone to play on a day with fewer classes. Seeing that the little girl was really tired, everyone didn't bother her. Seeing that she was really fine, they all went downstairs. After coming downstairs, Qin Jing asked curiously, why did you come down so late? Is Jiaxi in a bad condition? No, we were just chatting, Qin Xiao said. As Jifei sat down, Qin Xiao, who was very keen on eating melons, was the first to smile and said, just now, my cousin ran away in a hurry. Do you think his apprentice is looking for him again? It's a guess, Everyone in Qin Lao's family knows that this is waiting for Jifei to reveal the melon. Jifei naturally became curious when he heard it. But as she was checking, the gossipy smile hadn't gathered at the corner of her mouth. A few people who secretly glanced at Jifei saw that her face suddenly froze, and then she was dumbfounded. Hum, 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 threatening to commit suicide, throwing herself naked into his arms. Qin Lao's family, that's true, Qin Yi was framed again. Qin Xian, my cousin won't give in. Oh my, it's hard to guard against. Qin Yi was knocked down by Chinese medicine. Oh my god, is it too late to rescue him? Qin Lao's family. Qin Xian? In an instant, several people on the sofa seemed to want to stand up. Fortunately, he escaped. Innocence, damn it, he's gone. It's so bloody. Is this a roller coaster? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Yuze. Chapter 346. Qin Lao's family, this is a roller coaster in our hearts. So is there any need to save him? It's all done. Qin Xian, who? Is this considered fate? My cousin is destined to lose his innocence tonight. If this is the case, Zhou is better than Wan Sitong. Qin Lao's family, that secret admirer. Qin Xian frowned slightly. While the group of them was shocked and others looked at their strange silence in confusion, Qin Xian's cell phone vibrated. When I took it out and looked at it, my expression suddenly changed. My cousin is in trouble, let us rescue him, Qin Xian said solemnly, and then took out his mobile phone to show everyone. That was a message from Qin Yi's number, including a request for help and an address. How is it possible? My cousin should be in a coma after it's over. Ugh. It turned out to be a message sent by Zhou because there was the sound of an ambulance outside. She was worried that someone would find it, so she asked them for help. At this time, Qin Yi's sister Qin Wenqiang should have been the first to react, but Qin Lao and his family had almost already taken steps before the others could react. But not too many people can go, after all, the situation is special. Qin Xian made a prompt decision. Finally, Qin Xian, Jifei, and Qin Chao, led by Qin Wenqiang, rushed to find someone while the others were waiting for news at home. Qin Chao was responsible for driving the car at a very fast speed. Only then did Qin Wenqiang react. She immediately looked back at Qin Xian and said, "Don't we need to call the police?" "You definitely can't call the police in this situation." At that time, my cousin, who was a teacher, really couldn't speak clearly. Qin Xian calmly said, "If you can call the police, my cousin will choose to call the police directly instead of contacting me. He will contact me. There is a high probability that he is encountering trouble and needs someone to help him deal with it. Under such circumstances, it is best to act secretly for the time being." Jifei, who was sitting next to Qin Xian, became excited when he heard this. "Wow, my husband is so smart." It is true that when Qin Yi encountered such a serious problem and didn't know what to do, he subconsciously turned to the most capable person for help, and it was you. Before losing consciousness, the phone had already selected your call interface, but she didn't have time to make a call, so when Zhou wanted to ask for help, she directly chose to send it to you. She judged that you were the person Qin Yi wanted to ask for help most at this time. Qin Chao, this girl is quite smart. Qin Xian felt his wife's adoring gaze. Soon, everyone arrived at the rehearsal building under the cover of night. The room was in a room on the third floor. There were many students on the road at this time. It seemed that because of the ambulance incident, everyone was disturbed and everyone was talking about it. I heard someone committed suicide. Ah! Why did I hear that someone was drugged? I heard that the person who had the accident was the genius who just shined today, Wan Si Tong. Is someone jealous and seeking revenge? Or are you being entangled by some kind of financial sponsor? Impossible, her teacher is Qin Yi. As far as I know, Qin Yi is a person of great status and cannot be offended by ordinary people. I saw teacher Qin coming before. Did you come here because you knew something happened to Wan Si Tong? Because everyone is not clear about the time difference, the logic is unclear. Ji Fei already knew the situation. Oh, it turns out that it was only after Wan Sitong woke up that she realized that her wrist had lost too much blood. She had no strength to get up after all. She was still afraid of death. She quickly called an ambulance for help, which also alerted the school teacher. Many people saw her being carried away in disheveled clothes. It can be regarded as self-inflicted. While thinking about it, he came to the designated location. Qin Chao knocked on the door subconsciously, probably because he was afraid of seeing something. In fact, Ji Fei was also a little excited and curious, thinking about what it would be like to see Zhou Rishi later. After all, this kind of thing doesn't happen casually. As a result, there was no movement inside. Qin Wenqiang was naturally nervous about her brother and pushed the door open directly. She saw Qin Yi sitting unconscious against the wall. Although the clothes are messy, they are well worn and there is nothing indecent. The most surprising thing is that Qin Yi is the only one here. Except for Qin Wenqiang, who rushed over to see her brother, everyone else couldn't help but look around and there was no one there. What's going on? Let me check. Damn, the little girl is secretly observing here in the next room. Ah, it turns out that she didn't want people to know what happened between her and Qin Yi. Qin Chao, why? Doesn't she have a crush on Qin Yi? If something like this happened, you should seize the opportunity. Why are you hiding? Qin Xian didn't think much about it, but stepped forward to see Qin Yi's condition, and then suggested that they send him to the hospital themselves. Qin Wenqiang also thought of the rumors she had just heard, and had some bad suspicions in her mind. At this time, it is necessary to avoid the eyes and ears of others. So Qin Xian and Qin Chao held the person, pretended to be drunk, and then secretly found a secluded route to take the person out of the school. Really, he didn't stare until he watched us leave the building. This was because he was worried about Qin Yi, but he really didn't intend to show up, and he didn't struggle at all. It seems that Qin Yi had some sense before, and Zhou Rishi had a choice. That kind of thing will not happen to them after all, although they are secret admirers. Zhou Rishi is different from Wan Sitong. She does not want to get the person she likes in such a despicable way. She seems to feel that she has taken advantage and taken advantage of others. She was in danger, and felt very guilty inside. In comparison, Wan Sitong was even more rubbish. But, if Qin Yi himself remembers it, this matter may not be over. Listening to Ji Fei's inner voice, Qin Xian, not to mention Qin Chao, was curious about whether Qin Yi would remember anything and how he would face this matter later. Soon, the person was sent to the Qin family's private hospital. After the injection, Qin Yi woke up quickly. As soon as he woke up, he sat up suddenly, then held his aching head, with a dazed look on his face. Qin Yi, how do you feel? Qin Wenqiang asked worriedly. Qin Yi was stunned, turned his head to see everyone, and when he saw Qin Xian, he breathed a sigh of relief and said, I really contacted you. I thought I didn't contact you. This reaction. Except for Qin Wenqiang, the remaining three faces were all indescribable expressions. This is a mess. One doesn't remember, and the other doesn't want to be exposed. What should I do as the person who has eaten the truth? It stands to reason, the person involved is like this, I should do nothing. Qin Chao, I am really speechless about my cousin. Can't he feel whether he has done it or not? I was planning to watch the show, but in this case, I can't just hope that the world is not in chaos, so I can only keep this secret, otherwise it would be bullying the girl. After all, this is the girl's own choice. Qin Xian also knew that even if this matter was to be exposed, it would be Qin Yi who discovered it himself, or Zhou Rishi said it, and other people should not interfere. You sent me a message, so we rushed here. Qin Yi was stunned. Message. Ji Fei and Qin Chao's hearts jumped. Will they find anything? Qin Xian naturally couldn't hide it. After all, Qin Yi had records in his own mobile phone. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 347. It's just that Qin Yi seems to be very confused now, so he doesn't care whether he is sending a message or calling. He just thinks that he is under the influence of drugs and sends a message to Qin Xian in a daze. Even if he feels strange in his body now, it should be because of the resistance to drugs. Now all his attention is on Wan Sitong. I am really blind. I didn't expect to meet such a crazy woman. Qin Yi was really angry and pounded the bed. Qin Wenqiang immediately asked what happened. Qin Yi said it once, and then the others told him what they heard along the way. Qin Yi was also very angry when he heard that Wan Sitong was taken away by an ambulance. This girl deserves it. She almost hurt herself by committing suicide. Qin Wenqiang was very angry and said with a cold face, Qin Yi, this matter will be handled by me for you. The implication is that Wan Sitong should be taught a lesson. Don't think that the Qin family is kind and can be designed at will. There is a price to pay for provoking them. No one pretended to be a saint, and Qin Yi did not say anything to stop him. He knew that his elder sister was protective and had a sense of propriety. After a night of tossing and turning, Qin Yi was left alone in the hospital for observation, and the others went back to the old house to rest. Ji Fei was also very tired and slept until noon. Before she woke up, she heard a knock on the door. The sound was very urgent, and Qin Rong's voice came in. Second sister-in-law, something happened, are you awake? Ji Fei was startled and quickly got up to open the door, and saw Qin Yan, Qin Rong, and Qin Jiaxi standing outside the door waiting for her. Ji Fei was surprised and said, what's wrong? Qin Rong said anxiously, that woman falsely accused my cousin, and my cousin was summoned by the police. Ji Fei, ah. Qin Jiaxi quickly put the phone in front of Ji Fei. On the screen was the popular forum for college students in their Y city, with the hottest post on it. Sister-in-law, there are the most complete and latest content here. Qin Jiaxi also went to school and heard her classmates discussing it, and then she realized that something had happened. By the time she contacted everyone, it was too late. The police had already gone to find Qin Yi. Qin Xian and the others rushed over from the head office when they heard the news. My cousin and Qin Chao left as soon as they heard the news. We came to find you together, Qin Yan said. Ji Fei was still full of questions. Even if they had to sue Wan Sitong for what happened last night, they should sue Wan Sitong. How could Wan Sitong sue Qin Yi? Ji Fei was really puzzled. She quickly washed up, changed clothes, and set off with everyone. In the car, she took Qin Jiaxi's mobile phone to read the post, while using the system to check the situation in her mind. The post was posted anonymously, but Ji Fei already knew the truth through the system. She fainted and was hospitalized due to excessive blood loss last night. She was still so angry that she edited a post and sent it anonymously in the middle of the night to slander Qin Yi. If she can't get it, she will destroy it. This woman is really a crazy woman. In the post, she was a simple female student who loved music very much. She was very happy to be accepted as a disciple by Qin Yi. Unexpectedly, Qin Yi turned out to be a demon who used his teacher's status to coerce and harass her. She had little influence, but the other party had a very high status and background. She bowed down for her dream and survived under him. But Qin Yi not only tried to control her, but also tried to play with her. She refused to do it, so he forced her. She didn't want to, but she couldn't resist this violence. Under this premise, many photos, recordings, and videos were posted. The photos were probably some physical contact when they were teaching before, but netizens were good at talking about pictures. Once there was a precedent, normal contact became abnormal. The recording was even more out of context. There were two dialogues that were the most confusing. "You are crazy, I am your beloved disciple, how can you?" This was Wan Sitong's cry. "Do you think I will be responsible for you if we sleep together? You are too naive." This was Qin Yi's angry voice. The recording sounded in the car. Although others had heard it before, they couldn't help but ask when they heard it again. "This is Qin Yi's voice, right?" "But how could he say such a thing?" Qin Yan said. Qin Jiaxi had read the analysis post before, and said in an unstable voice, "Someone has already confirmed that the audio is not synthesized. But we don't know what the specific content is before and after." Qin Rong said, "Although I know it must be fake and must be taken out of context, this kind of words are really misleading. No wonder she dared to falsely accuse. She dared to falsely accuse completely out of impulse, without thinking at all, and didn't know what she would deal with next, like the shady guy who made up dirty rumors without thinking. She did it in a hot-headed way. This conversation happened last night, but she cut out the audio separately to mislead people. I didn't expect that she actually recorded it in the rehearsal room. If she really succeeded last night, would she force Qin Yi to marry her? It's really disgusting." Those who could hear Ji Fei's inner voice were furious. Ji Fei continued to browse the post. Sure enough, there were videos. Each video was about 2 or 3 seconds long, and they were all extremely misleading pictures. The last few clips, including the scene in the waiting room that day when she fell backwards and Qin Yi went to save her, were edited as if Qin Yi deliberately knocked her down while she was crying and wanted to kiss her forcefully. And the room last night, I can only say that Wan Sitong was really cruel to herself. In the video, she was crying and riding on Qin Yi, and she deliberately blurred it, not only mosaicing her body, but also mosaicing part of Qin Yi's body, making it seem like she was forced to do something with Qin Yi. This video is really hard to say. After all, even if it is mosaicked, Wan Sitong is really not wearing clothes. The video is too short. In fact, it is impossible to judge right and wrong, but people who come in from the post will inevitably have preconceived ideas. In the end, it is concluded that Wan Sitong committed suicide. In the eyes of everyone, only victims will commit suicide. So the conclusion is almost set in stone, although there will still be voices of rebuttal, such as students and teachers who are familiar with Qin Yi, such as people who know Qin Yi's identity, such as people who think Qin Yi doesn't need to do this just by looking at his face. But most strangers spit on Qin Yi. When Ji Fei saw it, it had spread quickly on the internet, and there was a lot of scolding. At this time, there were many people in the police station, and many students and teachers from the college were called in for questioning. Qin Yi was called in for questioning. Qin Wenqiang was getting angry at Wan Sitong's parents. Qin Chao held his phone, complaining non-stop, and showed it to Qin Xian. "Second brother, look, this is really troublesome. In fact, people are not willing to judge the truth. Most people's first reaction when seeing such things is to support the weak and hate the strong. The more perfect the strong, the more people tend to make malicious speculations. It takes only one mouth to spread rumors, but it takes a lot of effort to refute them. Even if it turns out to be a reversal in the end, how many people will see the truth?" After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Yuze. Chapter 348. Qin Xian took a quick glance and understood that because of the lag in news, people would take the preconceived information as the main information. Even if they witnessed the truth, they would start conspiracy theories. After all, Qin Yi is a teacher and Wan Sitong is a student. Wan Sitong is at a disadvantage. Qin Yi is the eldest son of the Qin family, and Wan Sitong is an ordinary person, so Wan Sitong is at a disadvantage. So from the moment Wan Sitong was exposed, Qin Yi had already gotten into trouble. His reputation as a music teacher has been completely damaged. Although Qin Wenqiang has arranged public relations to deal with the public opinion on the internet, it is difficult to ban forums and group chats circulating among college students. Qin Xian was thinking about it when he received a message from his wife asking him how the situation was. It is under investigation. Don't worry. We have arranged people to find evidence. It is not difficult to handle this matter, Qin Xian replied. It is indeed not difficult. If the Qin family is caught by such a clumsy frame-up, it would be really funny. Even if the originals of the videos and audios were deleted and destroyed after being edited by Wan Sitong, they still have a way to retrieve the originals. If they find some more evidence of Wan Sitong's infatuation, the truth will be revealed soon. The difficult part is the follow-up of public opinion. Qin Xian honestly told Ji Fei to let her eat the first-hand melon. As a result, he waited for a long time but didn't get a reply. Qin Xian sent another message, "You were called just after waking up. Have you eaten?" There was still no reply. Qin Xian was worried, so he asked Qin Chao to prepare food and drinks, so that he wouldn't be hungry when he came to eat melon later. Qin Chao was surfing the internet passionately. When he heard his second brother's order, he was immediately full of black lines, but he still went to buy things nearby honestly. After a while, Qin Xian received a message from Ji Fei. They arrived, but Ji Fei had a problem. There are many reporters at the door. Remember to wear a mask when you come in, Qin Xian reminded. Ji Fei replied, I suddenly have a bold idea. After a while, a group of people came into the police station again. The staff just thought they were relatives of the Qin family again. After all, it was a big family, so this kind of posture was normal, so they didn't pay much attention. It happened that Qin Chao also came back. When Qin Xian saw Ji Fei take the food, he told his wife not to go hungry. Ji Fei herself forgot that she hadn't eaten anything after getting up. After all, this kind of thing makes people's adrenaline soar. What stage has it progressed to? Just as Qin Xian was about to speak, Qin Yi was brought out. His face was very ugly. Obviously, he was very angry about Wan Sitong's coquettish operation. As soon as the result came out, he faced many students and teachers. Everyone had different expressions. Among them, there were doubtful eyes that made Qin Yi feel really ridiculous. Of course, there were also students who took the initiative to say that they believed Qin Yi. Ji Fei saw at a glance that there was an important person among the people who came to speak, Zhou Rishi. She is also here. Wait, then isn't she a living evidence? If you want to prove it, you must tell the truth of last night. This is difficult to deal with. Fortunately, the police only asked Qin Yi about her relationship with Wan Sitong. She said truthfully that Wan Sitong liked Qin Yi. If she was asked what she did last night, she might not dare to lie. Qin Yi casually said a few words to her classmates and also said something to Zhou Rishi. Her attitude was very obvious. Zhou Rishi's face changed. It seems that Zhou Rishi found that Qin Yi didn't remember what happened last night. In this way, she didn't want to blow herself up even more. She really wanted to pretend that what happened last night didn't happen. She looked over here. Is she looking at the Qin family? Oh, she thinks that the Qin family should be able to handle this matter, so it's best not to make the experience of last night public, so as not to put the matter between them on the internet again, and then this public opinion may be even more unclear. When Qin Lao's family heard this, they really couldn't help looking back and forth between Zhou Rishi and Qin Yi. One was at a loss, and the other acted realistically. Qin Xian thought Zhou Rishi's thinking was good. If another master-disciple relationship was used to replace it at this time, public opinion might not be good. And even if Zhou admitted that she was with Qinyi last night, then, how to prove it? When the chaos was going on, Wan Sitong rushed out and cried and yelled at Qinyi, it's you who ruined my life, it's you who wanted to force me, how dare you not admit it, and slander me in return, I won't live anymore, I won't live anymore. Everyone was frightened. After all, Wan Sitong looked crazy, like a person who was stimulated after being bullied, which made those who believed in Qinyi a little unsteady. But Wan Sitong's parents went up and slapped Wan Sitong several times. They cursed, you troublemaker, who told you to call the police? Who told you to cause such a scandal? You withdraw the lawsuit and say that everything is your own fantasy. This made it even more chaotic, and many people stepped forward to stop the fight. But Wan Sitong still refused to let go. Hiss, I finally know why Wan Sitong is so crazy. Such parents, without confirming the truth, don't protect their daughter at all because of Qinyi's identity, as if everything their daughter does is embarrassing for them. No wonder they raise such a person. Wan Sitong is also funny. She just wants to take revenge on Qinyi and force Qinyi to bow his head. She even thought that if Qinyi regretted it, she would withdraw her words. She didn't know that once the words are spoken, they can't be undone. Hearing this, Qin Lao's family was disgusted. What a willful, ignorant, and stupid person caused such a big trouble. After the police finally managed to stabilize the situation, Qinyi said coldly, Wan Sitong, I didn't expect you to be so crazy. Just because I rejected you, you want to destroy me? Do you think you can do it perfectly? Don't worry, this time, I won't let you go. Your slander against me, and you drugged me last night and wanted to have sex with me, these are all crimes. I will not forgive you, you wait for legal sanctions. Wan Sitong probably didn't expect Qinyi to sue her in return, and only thought that Qinyi would run around to explain the truth. Suddenly, she felt a little uneasy, and Qinyi's cold and ruthless look was also the first time Wan Sitong saw it. You obviously hurt me, you don't apologize, but you actually threaten me? I don't care how powerful your background is, I must expose you, people like you don't deserve to be music teachers, people like you don't deserve to like music. Wan Sitong wanted to threaten Qinyi with her career. But Qinyi just sneered at her almost illogical and random attacks. The most blind thing I have ever done in my life is to take you in as my apprentice. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After The Wife of a Wealthy Family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 349. Qinyi's words made Wan Sitong feel cold all over, and she couldn't speak for a while. After that, no matter how Wan Sitong pretended to cry and hinted that as long as Qinyi apologized and took responsibility, she could also consider signing a letter of understanding, Qinyi ignored it. And Wan Sitong's behavior was really funny to the onlookers. At this time, the Qin group staff had easily found evidence from Wan Sitong's electronic devices, and her electronic devices were provided by her parents. Naturally, if there was no Qin group, the police would find it sooner or later, it was just a matter of time. It can only be said that Wan Sitong thought the world was too stupid. She thought her little tricks could fool people casually. The evidence submitted by the Qin family's lawyers was quickly reviewed and ended. When the police came out again, Wan Sitong's fate was doomed. Seeing this scene, Wan Sitong thought the police were going to arrest her, and Wan Sitong, who was already guilty, immediately shouted. He used his teacher status to rape me, why don't you arrest him? I've made it clear enough, what else do you have to say? I know, you are in collusion. I will report you. Wan Sitong always plays the role of the victim, as if this is her biggest umbrella of protection. The police's face changed. They have seen many criminals who blame others, but this is the first time that they have turned a good deed into a grudge and reversed right and wrong. He said sternly, "We have received the complete video and chat records, and the conclusion of the edited version circulating on the internet has been overturned. Evidence proves that you falsely accused Mr. Qin Yi, and now we will investigate your legal responsibilities." As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was in an uproar, and everyone looked at Wan Sitong. Although they were mentally prepared, they still felt absurd and terrible when faced with such an outrageous thing. Is this the behavior of a talented singer with a bright future? Wan Sitong froze, but soon she stubbornly believed that it was impossible. She had definitely deleted it. How is it possible? You are ganging up to bully a female student like me. You are shielding a criminal. I will prove my innocence even if I die. She even wanted to hit the wall to prove her innocence. The police were there, so they would not let her succeed, but they were also scared. After all, she really intended to hit the wall and did not care about the result. If Wan Sitong had an accident here before the trial, the reporters outside would say that she was tortured into confessing. This girl is really crazy. Well, it turns out that when her parents quarreled at home, her mother would also use this trick to threaten her father. Qin Lao's family looked at Wan Sitong's parents on the side. It was really hard to judge that they didn't care about their daughter's life or death. No wonder Wan Sitong wanted to get someone who was really good to her, and if she couldn't get him, she would destroy him. This was also because she learned this from her parents. Qin Xian saw that Wan Sitong was still desperate, so he said something to the lawyer who came out. The lawyer took out his notebook, put it on the table, and played the original videos in front of everyone. Unlike the short videos on the internet, these videos have original soundtracks. When Wan Sitong's confession appeared in the video, the whole audience fell silent. Even Wan Sitong, who was held by the police, was stunned. The teachers and students who came to be witnesses all came closer to watch, and some people who were not familiar with them came to the front. Wan Sitong reacted and finally realized that the police were not deceiving her. She wanted to rush forward like crazy, but there were so many onlookers that there was no way for her to rush in to stop them. She could only look at Qin Yi in panic and resentment. "Don't look, don't look. It's not like this, it's not like this." But she couldn't shout and shout to cover the video played at the highest volume. When the backstage video of the concert was finished, the truth was completely revealed. There were more explosive videos afterwards, but because of the privacy issue, even mosaics would not have a good impact. If others played it publicly, they might be sued, but the audio was also considered evidence. After all the videos were played, no one questioned them anymore. "I've seen the online editor. Is this the truth?" She wanted to throw herself into the teacher's arms, force him, and use her own future to force him. This is too disgusting. I finally know what it means to take things out of context and call a cat a dog. This is simply deliberately leading to online violence. I never thought that the genius in our school would be such a person. I really am. I almost sympathized with her just now. Wan Sitong, the teacher treats you well. Why are you like this? You are simply ungrateful. Some people couldn't stand it and turned around to scold Wan Sitong. Do you know how lucky you were before? Without the teacher's guidance, you can get to where you are today. It's okay if you are not grateful, but you want to destroy the teacher, some people said indignantly. After all, Wan Sitong got the opportunity that none of them got. There were also other teachers who said with regret, "Wan Sitong, you really shouldn't have done that. Qin Yi really worked hard to teach you." These words accusing Wan Sitong of being heartless could not enter her ears at all. She just looked at Qin Yi fiercely, as if she was looking at an enemy. "The evidence is irrefutable, what else do you have to say?" Qin Wenqiang was furious when she saw that she still dared to look at her brother like that. "You have such a sinister intention to frame your mentor, do you have any conscience?" So what if I framed him? Everything is his fault. It's his fault. I even committed suicide for him. I was willing to risk everything for him. I love him so much, but he is ruthless, or, why don't you want me? Why do you treat me like this after I've paid so much, she yelled with scarlet eyes. It can only be said that some people's views are really crazy, and people with normal brains really can't understand them. Qin Lao's family said they really didn't understand. Others were also very angry by Wan Sitang's absurd reasoning. Fortunately, Qin Wenqiang started to curse. Qin Wenqiang simply laughed angrily. I don't know how many people have admired my brother over the years. Everyone is like you. Is my brother responsible? That is your own behavior. Why should others be responsible for this kind of thing? I've never seen such a shameless person, but you are so shameless. You think you can get everything you want by seeking death. Wan Sitang's face turned livid after being told this, but she still stared at Qin Yi angrily. Qin Yi looked back coldly. Wan Sitang immediately felt aggrieved. I just hate you. If you can't love me, why are you so nice to me? You made me fall in love with you, but you don't want me. This is all your fault. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. After the wife of a wealthy family was read by her mind, the melon field was full of wild animals. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 350. A kind-hearted person like Qin Yi really suffered the greatest malice this time. He never thought that his good intentions would turn into a sharp knife that stabbed him. Obviously he only cares about talents. He just sees Wan Sitang living in such a poor family. He just wants to cultivate one more world-class talent for the country. All of this shocked him. It can only be said that poor people must be hateful, and some people are destined not to deserve to be treated well. He looked at Wan Sitang, who was still unrepentant, and sneered, "You're right, it's my fault, so don't worry, I won't treat you well in the future." When Wan Sitang heard this, the expression on her face went blank. Haha, it should be said that no one will be nice to Wan Sitang in the future after all. Once the truth about this matter is made public, it will be like a story about the farmer and the snake. Wan Sitang has really taught everyone a good lesson. Who will dare to be nice to Wan Sitang in the future? Is she okay, waiting to be stabbed in the back? Qin Lao's family also agreed. Anyone who dares to be kind to Wan Sitang in the future is simply short-sighted. Aren't they afraid of being bitten by a white-eyed wolf? It can only be said that Wan Sitang used cyber violence to attract attention, which also backfired on her. Thinking of this, Qin Xiao, who is more sensitive to the internet, touched his chin, leaned towards his second brother and said, "Even if the truth is revealed, will it be too late to wait for the police station to give a conclusion and publish it online?" The trend of the internet. But he had been discussing this matter with his second brother before. After all, public opinion is the most troublesome to deal with, especially since they are so-called powerful and are more likely to be treated harshly in public trials. Even if the truth is revealed, others will still think of various conspiracy theories. If Wan Sitang came forward to apologize, maybe something could be saved, but looking at her crazy look, does it make sense? Qin Xiao clicked his tongue twice. As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly heard the second sister-in-law, who was being hugged by the second brother, laughing. Not knowing why, Qin Xian raised the corners of his mouth and nodded to the lawyer in the distance. The lawyer received the instruction and suddenly said to Wan Sitang, "Ms. Wan, if you are willing to issue a statement, admit your mistakes, prove Mr. Qin Yi's innocence, and restore your reputation, we can also consider an understanding." As soon as these words came out, some school teachers persuaded Wan Sitang to admit her mistake. How could Wan Sitang, With such a stupid temperament, give in. Or, she still didn't understand the horror of committing a crime and going to jail, and thought that what she did was just a failed courtship and a big fuss, not a serious matter. But I still feel a little weak inside. But when Wan Si Tong's parents stepped forward to pinch her and force her to accept the arrangement, she exploded again amid the abuse and beatings. She pushed her parents like crazy, but did not dare to say anything to them. She just said angrily, "I don't want it. Even if I am accused, I will drag people who have betrayed my sincerity into the water." Wan Sitong said to Qin Yi crazily, "It's your loss that you don't want me. You should have saved me from the abyss, but you were unwilling to give me a family. It's all your fault. If I take revenge on you, you deserve it. I know you want to eliminate the loss of your reputation online. As long as I don't apologize, even if the evidence is uploaded, it will be useless. Those bugs who don't like other people's good will definitely bite you to death. If you have a problem, everyone will think it's a fake. Those keyboard warriors on the internet who claim to be righteous will always doubt you. I can always be a victim. In this case, I still be a teacher. No one will ever fully trust you, because letting me, a female student, fall in love with you and commit suicide for you is a sin that you will never be able to get rid of, and it will be your eternal stain, ha 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 ha." Wan Si Tong's face was ferocious, she was simply out of control. She vented her madness, and everyone looked at her as if she were a madman, feeling incredible. But I have to admit that what Wan Sitong said, is very likely to happen. Even Qin Yi felt a pain in his heart at this statement. The rest of the Qin family were even more angry. "Wan Si Tong, you are so vicious. Do you still remember the first words you said when teacher Qin accepted you as his disciple?" Suddenly Zhou stood up. Seeing her sweetheart being treated like this, Zhou was so angry that even though she was unwilling to show her temper, she still couldn't help but shout out. Qin Yi was stunned and looked at Zhou. Wan Sitong was yelled at, and as if she remembered something, confusion suddenly flashed across her face. Zhou said, "You said that Qin Yi is your great benefactor, and he will definitely sing well in the future to repay the teacher for his kindness. Is this your repayment?" Wan Sitong has a kind of shame and anger about being exposed, which seems to be the past conscience that she doesn't want to face now. "Shut up, don't think I don't know. In fact, you..." Wan Sitong felt a surge of emotion at this time. She wanted to expose everyone who liked Qin Yi. She couldn't get it, and others couldn't get it, so don't make things easier for everyone. "Hey, I'm afraid your evil plan can't be realized suddenly," Ji Fei interrupted. "Look at your phone, it's live broadcast. Your confession was all broadcast just now." As soon as these words came out, everyone present was stunned. Originally, I wanted Wan Si Tong to continue to be a clown, but it's a pity that we can't let this crazy woman expose the little girl's secret crush on Qin Yi in public, otherwise, we don't know what problems it will cause if we hear it in the live broadcast room. After all, Zhou is you have good intentions, but you cannot invite disaster. But now Ji Fei's words have triggered a huge response. What? Live streaming? Here. Someone is live streaming? Everyone started looking around, and they saw the stranger who was closest to the notebook. He was not from the Qin family, nor from the school. He was an embarrassed young man holding a mobile phone. The police naturally wanted to stop this live broadcast. After all, this was a police station. But everything that should be broadcasted was broadcast, without editing, live broadcast, and all the ugly truths were exposed. When everyone picked up their phones to watch, they could also see the comments flashing by quickly. They were so angry that they wanted to greet Wan Sitong in person. After all, netizens not only saw the truth just now, but also heard with their own ears how Wan Sitong insulted them, used them as guns. When Wan Sitong took out her mobile phone tremblingly and saw the comments, her face was as pale as paper. Are you sick? What do you think we are? I'm a keyboard warrior, not a cyber troll. This bitch has such a dark heart. Don't worry, we will never do what you want. If you like to engage in cyber violence, wait, I will be the first to cyberbully you. I am really speechless. It is because of such people that those female classmates who have really been victimized will have a hard time defending their rights. She not only targets men, but also drags us women down. She is simply a scum. If there are still women who sympathize with her, they have a problem with their brains. Such a person should be locked up for life to prevent her from harming others. People like her, curse her to never get love in her life. If it is said that when the police announce the truth of the investigation, 30% of netizens will still choose conspiracy theories, then the number of people who do not believe in Chinyi at this time is estimated to be 0.001%.